Based on the same principle as the choir boy that I made on an earlier video, I want to make a little angel for the top of the Christmas tree. Because I'm going to make it the same size as the choir boy, it's going to be a little bit large for a very small Christmas tree, but you can of course reduce it in size because we're working on a cone, and you can just use the top half of the cone. You don't have to make it quite as big as this. So the first thing that I need to do is to make a pair of wings, because what's an angel without wings? The wings are the most important part. So the first thing I'm going to do is just decide what size wings I'm going to need, and make sure that I have two pieces of roughly equal amount of clay. I think that's a bit bigger. And what I need to do is form a teardrop shape, really. Well, two teardrop shapes. So, elongated teardrop shapes, wider at the top and at the bottom, coming to a point at the bottom. I'll make them a little bit wider. And I'm curving them round a bit. It's still raining outside in Andalusia. You can probably hear the sound of the rain coming down. So we've got two elongated teardrop shapes. And you can already see that they're a little bit wing-like. The next thing I need to do is to give them some feathers. So I'm just going to press down with this butter knife until we get a sort of feathered edge. Yes, I think I've done the second one better than the first one. I might do the first one again. I'll do this one again because I'm not happy with it. Now, if you're feeling very creative, you might want to make them slightly thinner than this. But I want everybody to be able to make them, so I don't want to make them too thin on this example. It looks a bit smaller than that, but that's because when I press this down, it's going to start to look bigger anyway. Approximately the same number, that's the most important thing. Okay, and so now we want to give them some colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the highest point with some of this Perfect Pearls, which is a sort of, I think they call it a faience colour. Interference, that's it. And it's sort of a greeny blue. And I just want to tip the edges of these wings with this colour. Perfect Pearls, this one. On both sides. Now you could cover the whole wing with this, it would look very nice. If you haven't got other colours, and you can only afford to buy one colour perhaps, these interference colours are very nice. and very, very useful for making fish, this green one particularly. And it gives it a sort of shimmer. It's different at different angles, which is what I like about it. Right, now I think I'll also put this round the back edge of the wing as well. But I want some added colours in there just to give it a little bit of depth. So I think I might choose this one. Obviously never used this one before. It's a nice colour, turquoise. So I want to see if I can get this into the insides of those little feathers. I want that to be fairly subtle, so I'm going to go over that with a glittery white, which I've got in here, if I can open it. This is the stage at which I drop it all over the floor. So that looks really nice, I think. Okay, so that's the wings, and that's the most important part, obviously. Pretty much for this project, we're doing the same as we did for the little choir boy for the rest. So a base frilly dress. We've got some red, unfortunately, on my cutter, so I hope that doesn't show up too much. Let's see if we can get two out that don't have that on it. One. Yes, I might manage to get two out, but I haven't got the stain on. That's the red from when we did the choir boy. So, if you haven't already seen the choir boy, he's formed on a piping nozzle. I'll see if I can find the same size of nozzle. That's that one, with quite a wide hole on it, not a tiny one like that, because you need to be able to get the head in. And of course the model can be taken off this metal mould when you've finished. So the first thing we need to do is find the middle and cut out a hole so that it can slip over. If you want to, you can do the dress all in one with a bigger, just take a bigger pastry cutter and do the dress in one. But I like to do it as layers, so here we go. We'll take the first layer. Now, that wants to go over there. With the choir boy, I cut some of the frill out, but this one I want to keep all of it. So you need to check whether it's going to come to the bottom and just press it down very gently on each of four sides. And then press in the middle of that, in the middle of each of those, to bring them down. And that, the other ones might just pop up like that. You can bring it back. And you need to take a little bit more care with the angel than with the choir boy, because the dress needs to look a little bit more pleated. I know the angels were probably supposed to be male, but every angel I've ever seen on a Christmas tree looks like a girl, so I'm going to make mine quite feminine. So once you've done those second pleats, you can go in and do a third one, a third set. Everywhere you think that the fold is too deep, just open it out and press it down again. Here we go. And try not to flatten them too much. There we go. Now we're going to want a second layer on that, but before we do the second layer, I'd probably like to do some of the powdering again on this. There's a tiny spot of the glue still on my brush, but I don't mind that because it'll just give it a little bit of interest. So once again, this nice greeny interference colour which shines differently in different lights. Normally, I suggest that you do have a mask on while you're doing this, because you don't really want to be inhaling the dusts from these powders. It's not easy to speak with a mask on, so unfortunately I can't follow my own advice. Try not to put any of the colour on the higher up bit, because you need the next layer of Fimo to stick to that. Raindrops. Right. So now we want the second layer on. And I've already made the arms and the head for this one, because you should have been able to see it on the other project. So this time there's a lot less creasing. However, I think I might want to add a little bit of the crease to this. So I'm just going to stretch this out a bit around the edge. It'll just make it look a little bit thinner as well and less clumsy. So I'm just stretching that edge out a bit. So I've got something to play with to give it some pleating. Right, so once again that goes there. And I would quite like the arms up in the air, so I'll put the arms up in the air. And if you have to hold on to this, see if you can do it with your fingers inside. Maybe I didn't get quite enough for the pleating. There's the overlayer of the dress. I didn't really stick that together quite properly, but I think it'll do for now. So I didn't really leave the room for my hands either, so I'm just open that out again. You can't see it, but I've got my tongue out trying to do this. So one little hand. two little hands. Oh yes, I forgot to say the hands should be the other way around on this one, because they're going to be facing forward, so you're going to see them. And here's the head. I've given this one a little open mouth so she can be praising or giving good news or whatever. I'm just going to cut the bit off from her neck because that's going to get stuck. And a little bit of colour again. I think I'll make her glittery at the top. Whoops. Let's have a little bit of glitter on her. And on the back. Oh, I shouldn't have done the back yet actually, because I'm hoping now that those little wings will stick on. So I've now got powder on it. Okay, one more thing. If you want her to have some hair, I've made a mix of various golds. This is Primo Gold, I think, with a little bit of, because the gold was a bit too strong of a colour, I put a little bit of the Primo Pearl colour in it as well. So just roll some very thin bits of hair out. Here we go, let's see if we can give her a nice wig that's not too much like Donald Trump's. I could take time and give her ringlets, but really I can't be bothered. It would just take too long. But you can make ringlets on a little pin and they can look quite cute. So I'll finish her hair off later. I'll just show you how to stick the wings on. First of all, stick the wings on as if they're going to go sideways, like that. Put your finger or something inside there to hold, to keep it supported, while you put a little bit of pressure on the back of the wing just to hold it on. Same with the other one on the other side. Whoops. Put a little bit of pressure on it to stick it. Yes, I have put too much colour on and it's not sticking very well, which was silly of me, but hey. And then I'm just tweaking that up because I really wanted it to stick on a bit higher. Same with that one. Hey. I'm abandoning the knife. I'm going to push a hole in that because it'll sort of tack it on better. Right, so when you've got the wings sat on the side, just glitter them up so that they don't look a lot different. So they're pretty. And then just bring them backwards to give it more of a three-dimensional feeling. These really aren't sticking on now. Very annoyed with myself. I have to scrape some of the glitter off. I hope you've got the idea. Really, I should not have glittered the back of her dress until I'd sorted that. Put those wings on. And you can, to make them safer, you can also stick the wings to the back of the dress. Oh, she's lost her hand. Poor little thing. Poor little angel. I'm going to have trouble sticking that in again because I haven't got my glasses on. So there she is, minus one hand and minus some of her hair. And I'll show you what she looks like when she's finished. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe as much as you can, because the more you do that, the more videos I can make for you. Thanks very much. Hope you're having a good Advent.